All right, welcome back. I got to apologize again for the long delay this time in getting this next in the series of videos up. Just been real busy. Work, family. We just went on vacation down to Southern California. Had a very nice time. It's been a long time actually since we took a family vacation. But apologize to my YouTube subscribers for having to wait a little bit to get this series going again. We're going to finish up the Radial Arm Saw here. Here's the third in the series. Basically, this last video just goes through all the adjustments that we need to do in order to get the cut nice and square with respect to the miter, so it's not off any, and with respect to the bevel, so that with the pins all locked into place in their standard position, we get a nice cut that's 90 degrees to the back fence and 90 degrees with respect to the table. And that's two adjustments. I don't really go through adjusting the ripping mechanism because I haven't done it. If I ever really need the ripping mechanism, I'll make sure that's set at 90 degrees. But I don't anticipate really needing that particular function on this saw. If I do, I'll try to get a video together to show you that. Anyway, again, I apologize, and here's the third in the series on the Radial Arm Saw Refurbish. Again, thanks for watching. Okay, so there it's all back together, and there's a couple of adjustments we'll still need to make. Sorry about that. I was just saying that I'll have to adjust these 4 bolts and make a test cut to make sure that I get a nice square cut at 90 degrees. If there's a little bit of a bevel to it, I'll adjust these screws here to bring that in to a 90-degree cut when the miter lock is engaged in that pin. And the same's probably true for the rip fence. It also has pins in there. And that's a little harder adjustment. But, and I don't know if you can see it, it does leave you a hole in the mounting plate to access the hex bolts that go into this plate right here. And that would allow you to twist this saw. But that's a little harder to get at. That's a little harder adjustment. And I probably won't be using the ripping function on this saw at all anyway. So I may just not bother with that one. But I do want to adjust the bevel. And I do want to adjust the miter. And I want to make sure both of those are at nice 90-degree cuts. So the other thing we need, the only other thing we need to do actually before we can start using this saw, as far as the blade elevation, we're just got a nut right there that accepts this busted handle, and that's working okay, but this nut really does tend to loosen up as you're trying to do it. And so if I need to put something on there, I probably will go ahead and put that back on. I may make some adjustments to it, tighten some things up in here. But in the meantime, what actually works very well is this little gadget here. And I've actually seen quite a few old farmers' radial arm saws, but that's really all they have. They just stick a 5/8 ratchet on there. And then this handle makes it pretty easy with two hands to raise and lower the height of your saw there. So we may use that temporarily or maybe even permanently, depending on if Sears has a part for this old saw. So we'll set the camera back up and I'll get busy working on some of that stuff. Okay, so with the saw all back together and things cleaned up a little bit, I did just happen to have this piece of scrap 3/4 inch plywood that I think I'm going to go ahead and use for a rip fence. And just happens to be just about the right length. We can trim off that other end over there. It could be a little bit higher, but that should work just fine. If it doesn't work, we can always replace it. So this has just got some clamps that sort of clamp two different size pieces of the table here, and so you can unclamp it and move your fence to a different position if you need to. Safety glasses on. Since my daughter's out of the way, we'll put in our lock here. And I can already tell from just looking at that cut that it's off a little bit as far as square and a little bit as far as its bevel. So we'll make some adjustments and get that all lined up. So there you go, an aligned radial arm saw for $60 plus probably a couple of spare parts. Should keep it under 100. And this saw is ready to go for some projects. Thanks for watching.